Hi. You're probably wondering where I've been. Let me explain. Let's draw a timeline. 2022 is the last time you saw me. That was when I was making a tourbillon wristwatch. Yes, hello, we'll introduce you later. I left very suddenly. I will try to explain somewhat, kind of why that happened. So I was working with a university to make some of my components because the watch that I was making in the video wasn't the only watch that I had to make. I think I had maybe 7 of those to make. So I was getting help from a university, but ultimately that didn't work out, and the timeline of events with that meant that when it didn't work out, I had a fork in the road. I could have kept going forward and plowed on with what I was doing and risked a lot of people a lot of money, or I could call it quits there and everyone involved at least get some of their money back. That was kind of the decision that I was dealing with. It was unbelievably stressful, and yeah, I didn't like it one bit. But yeah, I ultimately came to the decision that I had to shut things down, sell everything, and just take a step back for a while. So that was 2022. Then we've got to 2024. 2024. We will call these the dark days. We don't talk about the dark days. 2024 is when I was contacted by a completely random person. I've never met him before. And he basically said, look, I'm from the same county as you, where you grew up. I'm trying to start a watch company. I hear that you're a watchmaker, and I would like you to work for me and help you make me a watch. And the dark days was a time when I took a complete step back from watchmaking. In this period, I didn't do any watchmaking. I had what I describe as PTSD from my whole watchmaking experience. And in that time, I genuinely thought I would never come back to watchmaking. I sold a lot of my things. Luckily, I still have a lot of the stuff. So when I came back into watchmaking, it wasn't the hardest transition. But yeah, he wanted me to come back, and somehow convinced me. I'm not quite sure how, but here I am. And yeah, in this workshop that we're in now is the workshop for that company. We're in my Monday to Friday job. We're developing a wristwatch. Hopefully that will be released next year. I will maybe sneak peek some of that stuff in these videos, but I don't want to tread on my boss's toes, and I'll only release what he lets me release. And yeah, I think we're going to have a proper launch next year, which you'll all hear about because it'll be very exciting. And yeah, we're in the throes of making that. But the dark days, as I said, I didn't want to do any watchmaking. Then 2024 to 2025 was pretty rough still. It was really hard. We were starting the business. We were acquiring a lot of equipment, machines, and logistics of things we need, like jewels and springs. And because what we're attempting to do here is kind of a bit more of a larger scale operation than I was attempting before. There's kind of different ways about going things, and different quantities of things that you order and everything like that. So yeah, it was pretty hard to get through this period, especially with like when I joined, the watch was just kind of a rendering at that point. There was no CAD. We were working with a constructor. So yeah, this whole period, the watch was getting done on CAD. I was trying to do as much as I can with machines, but a lot of my time I was kind of waiting around because there wasn't much to do until the CAD was done and I could make things. So yeah, and as well, on top of all that, the workshop was just in my garage. So it was very cramped. I'll give a tour of this place, but it's much more spacious, and yeah, I'm really enjoying working here. So yeah, in this period, I was also quite low because it didn't seem like we would ever get to the point we're at right now. But we're here, which is 2026. Yay. And yeah, we're in a really good place. We're cracking on with everything. We've got really good momentum right now. We've hired another watchmaker. We're just on the right track. And it's felt like a long, long time to get from here to there, which it is. It's 4 years. And a lot's happened in the days. But yeah, we're here now and we're doing really good, and I'm doing really good. I didn't love watchmaking here. I completely fell out of love with it, and before it was basically my whole life. Back here now, I think I've got a more healthy relationship with it. I'm not obsessed with it, but I'm in a place where I'm excited to go into work on Monday to Friday, and to the point now that I'm coming in on a Saturday to do these videos and to start this new project, which is a tourbillon pocket watch. You are not helping. You're not helping. So yes, I'm going to be making a tourbillon pocket watch. Why? Because, like I said, in my day job, I am making a wristwatch. Making a wristwatch is unbelievably hard, and even though I'm in a good place, it's still stressful. Days can be hard and things can go wrong, and working on a wristwatch scale is basically as hard as it gets. So pocket watch is much easier to accomplish, and it's much more simple than, even though it's a tourbillon, it's much more simple than the watch that we're attempting to make. So yeah, this is for fun. This is something I want to do in my free time. I want to make a pocket watch. I've had the design done for, well, it's been iterating for years, probably since 2018, I think. That's how I was learning CAD. I kind of taught myself and asked friends online about how to use CAD, and I did that by designing the pocket watch from the George Daniels watchmaking book. I'm unbelievably excited. I've got nearly everything I need. I'll show you everything. But there's some exciting areas where things can develop and we can try some different things. There is a caveat to all this. Before, sorry Sonny, watch out. Before, in 2022 and prior to that, I was working completely manually. I had, if you remember in my videos, I had a jig borer, I had the Schaublin lathe, and I had an 8mm lathe. I had some other bits and bobs, and that's how I was attempting to do things. Now, I'll give you the workshop tour so I can explain kind of this, how this project is going to go. We have this storage thing, this lathe, a kitchen, sandblasting machine, ultrasonic, profile projector, a computer station.
A nice place for a lie down.
My workbench, and the big elephant in the room, a CNC machine. So I do not have access to, as I just showed, I don't have access to a manual mill or anything manual that can do anything remotely like that. Even my lathe, we don't have inline milling, and the milling attachment is amazing for gear cutting and stuff like that, but I think the situation I've got on the lathe, I can't really even do plates and bridges on the lathe, at least not the main shaping of the components. So, controversial, I'm going to be using this CNC machine. For me, that is very exciting. I've gotten to know this machine really well. I've worked on it every day for years now. And yeah, I know in the watchmaking space, handmade, manually made, whatever, is kind of, that's the thing. But this opens a lot of doors for a lot of different things. It means I can make things hyper accurately. It means I can do interesting shapes. Like if you see on the previous videos where I made a barrel bridge, I was like, oh, I can't do integrated feet. That's a bit too hard for my current setup. I'm gonna have to separate the feet and make some posts. This bad boy, I can do integrated feet just fine, and I'm gonna do just that. So yeah, it should open up a lot of doors, and it should speed things up. I'm not interested in toiling away and making this project last ages and ages and ages, like multiple years. I'd like it to be done in a reasonable time, and the excitement I get from watchmaking is always working on new things, next component, next component. I like to feel that momentum you get when you're in a good run of making things. And with the pocket watch as well, with the scale of things, especially on the lathe, I can make things pretty quickly. So I can actually work in tandem with these, which is quite exciting. But I am under no illusion that all of you will want to see this heavily in these videos. It's up to you. If you guys say you want to, then I'll show a bit more of it. But I'm not going to just shove it down your throats. I know the lathe is probably the most exciting thing that I can show you, and that's where most of the work is going to be. I've still got all the screws, all the pinions, all the wheels to cut. So there will still be plenty of manual work. It's just anything that would have been done on a manual mill will be done on here. I suppose I should walk you through the actual watch that I am planning on making, and you might recognize it because it does look quite similar to the 5-minute tourbillon. So here it is. This is the pocket watch. This is what I will be embarking on with you guys. So as you can see, this is the George Daniels pocket watch that he outlines in the book Watchmaking. I have put my own little spin on it. Obviously this side is pretty similar to how he kind of has designed it, but yeah, I've got this bridge which was kind of reminiscent of a bridge I was going to do for the wristwatch I was doing. It's got this big 3/4 plate which is again reminiscent of that, and that was kind of my homage to George's 4-minute tourbillon. So yeah, I'm also adding chatons everywhere. There's even chatons under all this. Ratchet wheel, so you can see chaton there, there's chaton there, there's chaton under this one as well. So yeah, I'm adding chatons in. Everything's going to be jeweled. So that's kind of my take on this. I figured I'm doing this in the most modern way possible. I'm using CNC machine. So why not modernize the actual pocket watch itself? When you look at pocket watches, they almost never, I'm pretty sure I haven't ever actually seen one with a jeweled barrel. And also rarely they have a jeweled center as well. So I figured if I'm using a CNC machine, I've got no excuse to not make this as accurately as possible and make it worthy of kind of being called a 21st century pocket watch. So yeah, it's really exciting for me. I've had the idea to do this for, yeah, like I said, a long time. And yeah, to feel, when I came back to the CAD file a couple of weeks ago, I was like, I think this is actually done. I think I can start making things with this now. And that's where we're at. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to do a little bit of making. I think we're going to start with some pinions, because I'm just waiting for some material to arrive to be able to do the barrel bridge and the main plate. But yeah, I think we'll get going with some pinions. I'll show you what we're going to be making first. So if we have a look at this, this is us, day 1, day 0, whatever you want to call it, where we've made absolutely nothing. All we've got is raw stock and our tooling. So first things I am planning on making is the 3rd pinion, which you can see just there, the center pinion, which is just there, the 4th pinion for the tourbillon, that's just there, minute pinion, that's on the dial side. Sorry, I don't actually know if this is a nice way to look at all of this, but I thought it was pretty cool that you can make everything, change the opacity on everything. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to start with. There's the barrel arbors, there's the hand setting arbor, there's the winding arbor, there's also the escape pinion. We're going to be making this first, I think. So yeah, there's lots of exciting things to get going with. I am really excited. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and I'm glad to be back on YouTube, and I hope you guys enjoy watching this. I should also explain who this little fella is. This is Sunny. This is my 1-year-old golden retriever. He is my best friend in the entire world, and he will be here along with us on this journey the entire time. So yeah, better get used to him. Right, we're starting with the minute pinion. This I figured was probably the best one to start with because it is the simplest of them. It does have a drill bore through it, but I decided to not do that at this stage because, as you'll see when I get to the center pinion, it's quite the kerfuffle to set up all of that stuff for drilling right now with our current situation. With our tailstock alignment, and we need to sort that out. So yeah, this is very basic turning. It's literally two surfaces, and the surface that the teeth are going to be on isn't actually the critical face, because we're leaving that slightly oversized for the cutter to actually bring it to the correct size once the teeth are being cut. So yeah, there's a few hundredths of a millimeter that we can play with there, so I was already not worried about that. The surface below it, also not that critical because that's the surface that sits inside the minute wheel. But with the beauty of this project and not working kind of in a production scale, when I make the minute wheel, I can just make it fit this pinion perfectly. I don't have to make it eat both of them to a set size so they can be handed to any person. They fit together. It all just kind of, I can adjust as I go along on the fly, which yeah, makes me really excited about this project because yeah, in my day job we've obviously got to work in kind of more production minded, so yeah. Next, we're on to the escape pinion. This is a funny one because when I check the dimensions of this is very nearly just as big as the biggest pinion in the wristwatch that we're making at work. So yeah, typically the escape pinion is the smallest thing. So that was pretty weird to be working on it at that scale, and a bit daunting for when we have to make it for our wristwatch, but it's fine. Now I'm just kind of checking things as I go along. Every once in a while, I don't do this every single time I make a component. I kind of periodically will be like, oh, let's check this now on the profile projector. But yeah, this was all within tolerance. I had no issues there. Next, we're on to the fourth pinion. Yeah, as you can see, I've been changing up the angles a bit because I'm still getting back into the swing of things, and it's a bit odd to try and if you could actually see the angle of where the camera is, it's right on, basically on top of the cross slide. So yeah, it was pretty weird to be able to work on it like this. But yeah, I think this is probably the best angle that you can see. Yeah, the thing about the fourth pinion is that there's no rivet; it just friction fits within the tourbillon carriage, which I find quite interesting because yeah, generally you're riveting a pinion to a wheel, But yeah, this just has a really long pivot because it has to reach through the main plate to the other side to be the arbor for the second hand to be pressed onto as well. So yeah, quite a long pivot on this one, but yeah, the turning went fine on it, and it came out nice and parallel and to dimension. So yeah, we've left it. I've been leaving things about 3/100ths of a millimeter oversized, ready for burnishing, but I think 2/200ths is fine, 3/100ths is fine, 4/100ths is probably still okay, but I think you'd be giving yourself a lot more work, and you can actually burnish too much and kind of peel off that skin and then leave yourself with an unburnished surface. So yeah, I would stick to that 2 to 3/100ths. And Sunny is super interested in what's going on. Next is on to the third pinion. This one was, I think, the kind of like, along with the escape pinion, it's kind of got the most features on it. It's got the most steps, but yeah, again, it wasn't anything to worry about really. It was just business as usual. It was quite refreshing to be working at this scale, and I was quite surprised that I was able to get all of these blanks done just in one few hour session on a Saturday. So it bodes well for me to be able to get this done kind of in the time scale that I want to get it done, because yeah, I've got lots of plans for the future, lots of different projects I want to make. So yeah, this tourbillon pocket watch is kind of like my, I don't want to be cocky and call this a warm-up, but I want to get this under my belt so I have the confidence to move on to much bigger projects that should be really, really exciting to share with you guys here on YouTube. Every once in a while I blow off the swarf just so I can kind of see what's going on. But yeah, at this stage as well, you can see that things are still being left kind of burred, but I'm not worried about that, because when the teeth come and get cut, that's going to leave things burred a lot anyway. So there's still plenty of cleanup that's going to be done on all of these. Finally, I need to do the center pinion, and this has a whopping, I think, 9mm long, 1mm wide bore in it. So yeah, it's bigger than a normal drill. So I've had to, you'll see, I'm using a crazy. Oh, Sonny died. Oh no, he's not dead. No, he's just sleeping. So yeah, I'm using a much longer drill than I would be wanting to use, as you'll see in a second. But I've got no other way around it. I don't want to drill halfway and then come at it from the other side, because it will never line up bang on. But yeah, right now we've got tailstock issues, or well, I assume it's tailstock issues, but it might be headstock issues. It just the alignment between the two isn't bang on. So yeah, we're not able to use that for drilling. So I'm using this nice tri-pan collet holder, and right now I'm trying to work out the best way to get it all centered to the headstock. I opted with putting a tool backwards in the headstock of the lathe and then trying to line it all up, but then I realized that won't help me in making the tool dead straight. It would just mean at the tip of the tool it's able to grip it. So I figured I'd put in a flat bit of bar into it, press it up against a flat surface that's in the headstock. That should then make it dead straight to the headstock, and then I'll come back and do that method that I was just doing. I got things as good as I could visually. It seemed to be okay. When I clamped, nothing seemed to move. The tool didn't flex, but obviously it's tungsten, so you wouldn't see that. So then I decided to put two of the same tool with a pointed tip facing each other, and it all looked dead on. So I was happy to move on. This is just a little showcase of the DRO that we've got on the lathe. It's really, really nice. It's micron accuracy. So yeah, it's turning is a breeze with it. Now I'm coming in with a spot drill. I don't think this is 100% necessary, but look at the size of that drill and the length of it. I really didn't want to risk anything. But you could see there, it really did wobble going in, and I was not happy with it, and I was really a bit scared. And you'll see here, I put it back in, wobble again, and I was like, whoa, no, okay. So I actually did adjust it a little bit and try to line it up with the hole that had been made. Once I did that, I added some oil, and I just took it really, really careful. I just pecked at it. Every time I retracted all the way. And yeah, I got there in the end. I went 10 millimeters deep, so I went past the hole size. The hole diameter isn't 100% crucial. The fact that it's centered and parallel is absolutely important. So until the pinion's finished, I'm not going to be able to tell if that has actually succeeded, but I've got a good feeling that it has. The drill, I think if there was a major problem, then a drill that long would have snapped. So yeah, I think it's going to be okay. And there we go. I've just turned all the features on it. It looks how it should look. The size of the ball relative to the outside diameter of that pivot, and that's all of them lined up next to each other. I was hoping to get the actual leaf cutting done in this video, but I think that's far too much already. It's nearly half an hour long, so I think I'll save that for the next video. And yeah, here's Sunny with me right now as I'm editing this video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and thank you for welcoming me back. I'm really excited about the journey that we're about to go on together. And yeah, next time should be just pure making, shouldn't be any of the explaining. So see you then.